Hi friends, trust you're doing well. I have already posted a few videos on my channel, but this one is going to be a little different from the ones I've already posted. To start with, the backdrop, the settings are different, never mind the noises that might come in from the neighborhood, but what is going to be more different is the message that I'm going to share with you. I'm going to share a rather unpleasant experience of mine which happened a few days ago. Now, if you ask me why I want to share an unpleasant experience, there is a big learning in it. There is a big message that you can't afford to ignore. So please watch it and listen to me very, very carefully. Now, it happened a few days ago. It was a normal day for me till then. I just finished my lunch and I came back to my workstation to resume my routine work is when I got a video call on WhatsApp. And now it was from an unknown number. So I'm not very finicky about accepting calls from unknown numbers. Ever since the lockdown started, there have been a lot of video calls. We all have started to learn to live our lives looking through a camera lens. So it was not a big deal. Although it did surprise me with a video call coming from an unknown number, but my friends have done that in the past. There are friends who have multiple numbers. In the first place, I don't understand why somebody should have half a dozen numbers, but that's beside the point. We'll keep that for a little later. But I accepted the call and it lasted a few seconds and I couldn't see anything. It's a blank screen as I accepted the call and it got disconnected in a few seconds. So I thought maybe it was a mistake. They would have dialed the wrong number, wrong person, and therefore they disconnected it. And I also thought of maybe giving them a call back, a voice call, or maybe leaving a text message to ask who called. Before I could act, came the second call, again a video call from the same number. And as I answered, what I saw on the screen, I was aghast seeing that. That actually took me by complete surprise. A pornographic clip was being played on the screen. And it took me a few seconds to regain my composure. Naturally, I mean, you would be least expecting something like that. So it was a shocking thing for me. So it took me a few seconds to regain my balance, and I started thinking what to do. And before I could act, they disconnected the call. So it must have run for a few seconds, maybe roughly about 7-8 seconds, and then they never called back again. So obviously I was thinking about it. Could that be a prank? Could that be a call made by mistake? Or is there something more to it? A few minutes down the line, I'm getting a message again from the same number, this time a proper message. When I opened it, it was a video. And what I saw was, to be very, very frank, I thought it was very funny, but in a second or two, I also realized that it had the potential of being something very serious. I saw a clip where my face, which was captured during those few seconds of the call, was actually morphed with a pornographic clip. Now, I'm using the word morphed because that's something which is a common terminology which many people are familiar with, but it's actually two clips joined together. One had my face in it, which was captured after my answering the call. The rest was from some illegal pornographic clip. So. And I realized that either it's a prank or it's going to be a kind of a blackmail. And this was followed by quite a few messages. I received about 20-25 images. Most of them being my images taken from Google and my social media profiles. And some of those images were of people whom they thought were my family and friends. For instance, my name is Sridhar S. Pillai. So they send me a lot of profiles of people or the screenshots of profiles of people with the name Pillai, presuming that they might be my family or relatives. And then came a few text messages. Messages were in broken English and Hindi, which the content of which was that if you don't pay us money, we are going to publish these. We are going to send this clip to all those people that we have mentioned, all your relatives, all your friends. Now, I didn't take it seriously to start with because the entire episode looked very, very clumsy or funny. But again, I thought, okay, we have to be careful here. So what I did was I didn't respond to it. I thought about it as to what to do. So the menace was on. They kept sending the same message, the screenshots of those messages, a few of them you'll get to see now. This became a menace. This went on for quite some time, so I blocked that number. The moment I blocked that number, I started getting the same kind of messages, exact replica from a different number. So this went on, and I decided to actually report it to the police. So I went to the nearby police station, I lodged a complaint, and they took it up with the cyber cell. Now, the cops there actually shared with me that this is a very, very common thing these days, ever since the lockdown started. And that's the entire thing all about. Now, the COVID is not going to go away, sadly, anytime soon. So these kind of scams are going to be rampant in the days to come. Desperate situations call for desperate measures. So people are without money, without jobs. So there is a financial crisis. So people will look at ways to make money. And there are a lot of hardened, seasoned criminals out there who wouldn't mind doing such inhuman things to make money. So the cops gave me a kind of education. So these points I thought are very, very important for me to share with you. Now I came back, did my research as well, and I found out that this is something which is very common in some countries, even a few years before. So it was in India. This has become prevalent ever since the lockdown started. Now, a few points are very, very important. Since this could hit you tomorrow, I'll tell you what to do if you're faced with such a scenario. God forbid it doesn't happen. But should it happen, what should you do? Number one, always taking a precaution is better than being sorry. So you have to ensure that you don't take calls from unknown numbers, especially video calls. So this is a personal learning for me as well. I've been quite liberal when it came to taking calls. So you don't want to take a call from an unknown number, especially a video call. But should you take a video call, what you should do is cover the video, the camera that is, and then see if you know the other person well. If you don't know, disconnect it immediately. Or you disconnect the call that is incoming and then call back. Make a voice call or leave a text message. If you don't get a response, a proper response to it which is credible, leave it at that. It could be a scam. Number two, if it happens to you also, what should you do? Something which I thought I handled pretty well, is that never respond. These criminals feast on your fear. The moment they sense that you are fearing something, they'll try to hunt you down in the sense they will become a menace. Not that they might harm you in any other way, but there could be a menace that runs into days or even weeks. They will threaten you, they'll blackmail you. Be very bold. You haven't done anything wrong, so just be bold and do not respond to them. Even if you respond to them, be very, very strong in your response so that they don't feel that you have a fear factor in you, which is very, very, very important. Another important point is lodge a complaint with the nearby police station as soon as you could. That's the best thing to do. That's the right thing to do. Now, if it's an inconvenient time for you or you can't make it to the police station owing to whatever reason, ensure that you lodge a complaint online. On the website that you see on your screen right now. This is the portal which takes care of such complaints. Don't hesitate, do not waste any time, just be there and lodge a complaint. More complaints coming in, I think we are in a better position to crack it down. The cops will have to act. The more people coming out to voice their experiences, it will help. And another point, the next point is be a little more judicious if you think you should be in terms of your social media connections. Another lesson I learned, that I've been very, very liberal in accepting friends on social media and my interactions on social media. Of course, it's social media, so you don't have to necessarily have a social media platform only for your closest friends and family. It has to go beyond that. But what I have really understood is that there also, I think we need to tighten our security a little bit. That's another point. And now, one point which I feel is very, very important, last but not the least, and perhaps in my book is the most important one, is that these criminals again feast on a misplaced sense of morality or ethics or value, I don't know what to call it, that our society has, which is very sad. Ours is a society which is very modern, very progressive, we say, but we don't look at certain things which are very important. For example, sex education for children. We consider it a taboo. We don't talk about sex to our children at the right time. We don't do that. We still hesitate. Another thing is we tell our daughters, we tell our sisters to be careful, but we don't educate our sons or our brothers how to deal with women. This is another thing which is very, very important. Why I'm saying this? They try to capitalize on that misplaced sense of morality that our society has. Quite a few societies they target. One is the Gulf countries, where it's very, very it's a very sensitive issue talking about sex. Similarly, here also in India. So I think we should change. I mean, not too long ago, in a South Indian city, we had a porn star inaugurating a shop or something, and there was a tough traffic block for traffic jam for about 2-3 hours, and the entire city came to a standstill. Thousands were thronging to get a glimpse of that porn star. On one hand, we do that. On the other hand, we say it's not right to talk about it. I think it's high time we change it. In my book, at least, it's very silly and stupid. So we should start looking at sex education, sex, and these kind of things in a more liberal way. So then one more thing I want to leave you with is the kind of people that they target. Unfortunately, women in our society still remain a soft target. So these scamsters, target women, and they also target men whom they presume are very rich. The likes of business owners and business magnates and business honchos, the presidents, the CEOs, and people who fall in that category. And then they also target men who have a decent social media traffic, the ones they feel have a need to protect their social or public image. So here you happen to be one among these three. I think you're more vulnerable than the rest. But nothing to worry about. This will be there for a while because people are jobless. Of the people who are jobless, many of them have a criminal mind. They will be out there to make money in any which way that they could. So it is up to us to take care of ourselves. So please tighten up your security, as I call it, and take good care and stay safe. Thank you so much.